Hi, this is Bethany Gagnier, founder of Numinous, the organization that sponsors the Global Peaceful Cities Project. And this video is just an amazing pleasure to produce because it's many, many years in the making. What we're wanting to do in this video is to let you know that we have put online our Start Your Own Peace Project City Blueprint program. And for those of you who aren't familiar with exactly what a peace project is, a peace project is when we invite a group of meditators to practice intentional coherence-based meditation, and through that meditation send peaceful intentions to a local community, and then we look at the data to see how much how much of an impact our peaceful intentions have made. Now, I believe all of humanity is forever indebted to the research of the Transcendental Meditation organization, because they have documented that this phenomenon happens, that when a group of coherent meditators gather in an area, there's a corresponding reduction of violence and often an increase in economic indicators. And when I heard about the TM research over 2 decades ago, I was just so incredibly happy to hear about it. I thought to myself, my gosh, is this all we have to do to, have a calming effect in areas that are in high violence? And I just was waiting and waiting to hear more about it, to see it more rolled out in everyday life. And the TM organization has continued to go on and do more amazing work. But a lot of times these studies were stuck in the journals, and that was really frustrating for me. And then after a while, I started to realize, well, a lot of science has to be replicated and duplicated, that science has to be done by other organizations to document certain phenomenon. So I thought, well, you know what, let's do it, right? So I opened Numinous a long time ago with the sole intention of developing the meditators. And then I was just kind of waiting for the right time. And then in 2008, I believe, Lynn McTaggart's book came out, The Intention Experiment. I was so excited. I was so happy to see, Lynn's having people send intentions to other places on the globe. And, that was really encouraging. And that's when I knew it was time for me to start organizing, to start putting it together. And I found a professor to work with, and we started hacking it out. And at that point, things were different. Mindfulness was not on the cover of Time. And so bringing this meme out into the culture, we definitely took a few hits in a lot of ways. It was not an easy journey whatsoever. But again, I just have never given up on this idea. If you talk to any of my friends and family, they know I've been talking about this for over 20 years. This is not a new thing for me. So we kept at it, we kept hacking, and we've learned a lot over the years. And what we're wanting to do now is what we've done is we put it into this online program where you can go through the program, and we're kind of poured out our years of experience on how to answer questions, how to go about it, what's a good timeline, all sorts of things. We've really laid out this blueprint to empower you, to give you what you need to feel like you could go out there and do this. Because I know, I've spoken to people, and I know that there are many people around the globe that are wanting to do this. So this blueprint is for you if you're one of those people. We'd love to hear from you. I wrote the blueprint so that you could do your own peace project. You could just completely do it on your own. And I also wrote the blueprint to say about if you would want to collaborate with Numinous, the Global Peaceful Cities Project. And the reason for that is because I know how challenging this work is. I know how difficult it is, from the tech support to the data analysis to the volunteer management and all of that. And so what I did was I've arranged it in such a way that we do the grittiest, hardest work, and you get the fun work, right? So our job is maintaining this website where all of the city managers will be able to log in their own and manage their own city through our website. Our work is to do the data analysis, and our work is to, again, provide that mentoring support when you feel like you've hit a roadblock, those types of things. And your job is the fun part. You get to go out in your community and find these amazing, like-minded people. They're going to be your new best friends. and to come and to work with the volunteer group, to work on your social media, to put it out there, figure out a timeline, and put it all together. And I will tell you that when you get a group of people who are practicing coherence around a table, the jokes are long, the laughs are hard, and we've become each other's family. It's almost like, we've become that family that we always wish we had, and we often celebrate holidays together and things like that. So you're really going to find your tribe. You're really going to find people who vibe with you in your own way, and it's quite beautiful and quite elegant and breathtaking in a lot of ways. So we strongly encourage you to, if you've ever thought about this idea, to get the online course and then sit with it in your own coherent heart and really think about whether or not you'd like to take this further, or maybe you could send it to someone else who would consider taking it further as well. So, just in closing, I want to strongly encourage you to do that if you've ever thought about it, because this is research that needs to be done by the people for the people. Like, we can't wait for some people in a lab somewhere to do this, right? We need to, as the collective, we the people, need to do this as a group where we can come together with our minds and land our mind on one thought of peace. And have that be measurable, right? Is to teach, is to demonstrate. And so we need to demonstrate the power of our minds, and that we are all contributing to this field around us, this field of intelligence around us that influences each of us. As Dr. Roland McCratty says at the Institute of Heart Math, he refers to this, he says, what are you feeding the field today, right? That there's this field of intelligence all around us, and we are feeding it with our thoughts, our emotions, and our feelings. And so how important it is for each of us to kind of clean up our portion of the field and then, put our hearts in service for the greater whole, right? So that we don't have to wait for politicians. We don't have to wait for governments. We don't have to wait for communities to, figure out a way to raise the money, to reduce the violence, right? So what if we just inspired communities to inspire coherent hearts? And what a difference that would be. Substance abuse would go down, and violence would go down, and grades would go up, and blood pressure would go down, and pain meds would go down, and all these amazing socioeconomic indicators would be improved, and it would literally virtually cost nothing. Right? Because that's the power of a coherent nervous system. You just naturally make good decisions without white knuckling it, right? That's the beauty of, and it's really our birthright to be able to sit in our own skin and be happy for no good reason, because we've trained in an internal self-regulation that brings out the highest and best on demand. And I can't think of a better way to spend my life and to keep getting this meme out there and encouraging people to do it for my children and for my children's children and for all of our children's in the years to come. We've just got to do something different and think different. And this work is just elegant, and it's rapid availability to everyone, and and its reliability as well, because the research demonstrates the power of it. All right, well, thank you so much for your time. Please consider purchasing the project, and we would love to hear from you as well. All right, thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.